Breaking news today. Mnangagwa's shabby helicopter from Putin is mocked by Chamisa. Nelson Chamisa, the principal opposition leader, has criticized President Emmerson Mnangagwa for openly supporting Putin's invasion of Ukraine and accepting a helicopter from the Russian leader. Putin recently gave a helicopter to his Zimbabwean counterpart as part of Moscow's efforts to strengthen ties with the economically struggling southern African nation. The Information Ministry has tweeted that the plane is on its way to Zimbabwe. On Monday, Chamisa spoke to thousands of CCC supporters at Gadzima grounds in Chinoy, where he criticized ZANU-PF leader Emmerson Mnangagwa for supporting Russian President Vladimir Putin in the devastating civil war. "My brother, Mnangagwa, just got back from a trip to Russia, where he was overjoyed to receive a rickety helicopter, and he proudly announced that Zimbabweans support Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Who or what did you confer with?" Speaking of the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, Chamisa said, "A proper leader of Zimbabwe must not support or side with any country, but side with peace, side with unity, side with progress, and side with multilateralism and unite the belligerent nations. Zimbabwe will soon receive the plane." The head of the CCC criticized Mnangagwa, saying he should stop behaving like a puppet of the Soviet Union. Saying, "Don't be a puppet, be a person who respects the norms of peace across the whole world and not side with aggression, which is not acceptable," he urged his listeners to think for themselves. He also said that a newly elected CCC government would work toward non-aggression and support international harmony. CCC advocates for international cooperation and mutual respect. "We're for world peace because taking a side goes against reality and the facts. There, my brother and I have a major disagreement." In the run-up to the upcoming presidential election, Chamisa boasted of his ability to obliterate Mnangagwa and derisively referred to the 80-year-old ZANU-PF leader as a customer he would easily defeat. In a nearly hour-long speech to his supporters, Chamisa made numerous promises, including the elimination of corruption that was draining the country of revenue, the creation of new jobs, and the improvement of the welfare of government employees, as well as the repair of infrastructure like water pipes and roads. He also introduced Leslie Mangwa, a candidate for Chinoy Member of Parliament in the CCC, who has promised to energize the town, which was once home to the Cold Storage Commission, CSC, a mining giant, and other important economic players that have since gone out of business. Mangwa, an engineer by trade, unveiled a manifesto to address the many problems plaguing Chinoy, which has seen a rapid increase in its population in recent years, straining its infrastructure and leading to a breakdown in service delivery, most notably the provision of clean drinking water. In a move that reduces the lengthy sentences handed down to the deposed democratically elected leader of Myanmar after generals seized power, the ruling military junta has pardoned Aung San Suu Kyi on 5 charges for which she was previously convicted. A source with knowledge of the case confirmed the pardon's announcement, which was made by Aung Lin Dwe, the regime's secretary of the governing body. According to CNN's source, the 5 charges that were dropped involved violations of laws related to defamation, natural disasters, exports and imports, and the country's telecommunication law. When speaking to the media on camera on Tuesday, Myanmar's military spokesperson Zaw Min Tun announced that Suu Kyi's prison sentence would be reduced by 6 years. How long Suu Kyi will spend behind bars is currently unknown. A CNN source with knowledge of the case said that on Tuesday, her sentence was reduced by 9 years, in addition to other reductions that had already been made. Suu Kyi has spent decades in politics working to bring democracy to Myanmar, but she still faces the prospect of decades without liberty. A total of 33 years in prison, including 3 years of hard labor, was being sought for the 78-year-old as of the end of 2022 due to multiple convictions, including electoral fraud and receiving bribes. After 5 years of leadership, Suu Kyi's party was re-elected in a landslide election against military-backed opposition, and she was subsequently detained and removed from office. Myanmar's brief experiment with democracy came to an end in February 2021 when Army General Min Aung Hlaing took power. He promptly imprisoned numerous opposition figures and plunged the poor Southeast Asian nation into a bloody civil war that has yet to end. Every day, battles break out across the country between the military and resistance groups. There is consistent evidence from monitoring groups that airstrikes and ground attacks on what the military calls terrorist targets have resulted in the deaths of thousands of civilians, including children. Local monitoring groups report that entire villages have been destroyed by junta soldiers who have also burned down schools, clinics, and hospitals. Suu Kyi has denied all of the charges levied against her, and rights groups and international observers say her convictions are politically motivated because of her status as a symbol of opposition to decades of military rule. The source said that as of Tuesday, Suu Kyi was still serving sentences for 14 other crimes for which she was convicted. The announcement comes as Suu Kyi's appeals of multiple convictions are scheduled to be heard by Myanmar's Supreme Court over the next 2 weeks. The source confirmed to CNN that the appeals will proceed as planned. In a statement issued last year, the United Nations Security Council demanded that all political prisoners be freed. This included Suu Kyi and former President Win Myint. New details have been added to this report.